Hey guys, my name is Zan. So I wanted to share this experience that I just had with you guys before it got too late. It is 2 in the morning. I just got home about 10 minutes ago. I was invited to go to the masjid tonight, which is the Arabic word for mosque. So I've got a friend who's Muslim, and she will invite me to the masjid sometimes, and this is the month of Ramadan, which is the Islamic version of the most wonderful time of the year. So during Ramadan, it's like a month-long celebration where they fast during the day, and they break fast at night with a meal called iftar, and then they will have a meal in the morning before sunrise called suhoor, and then during the rest of the day, during the daylight hours, they don't eat anything, and then they will break fast again after sunset, and repeat the process throughout the whole month of Ramadan. And so my friend is teaching me about Islam and Islamic cultures and things like that, because she knows that I'm a religion and a culture nerd, so she just indulges my wildest fantasies with that. But she invited me to come to the masjid tonight because they were doing, I'm gonna get this wrong, Taraweeh, I think is how it's pronounced. It's like their nightly prayer that they do during the month of Ramadan, where they go through the whole Qur'an. So they'll recite, I think it's 20 chapters or 20 verses, and that also has a name, and I don't remember what the name for those are, but they'll recite those from the Qur'an in like pairs of 2, and they'll do their prayer, prostrate, they call it prostrating. I'm not sure what the correct what the correct version of that word is, but they'll do their little prayer ritual, I guess, between the verses. And so I got invited to go to the masjid tonight to see this Taraweeh, I think that's how it's pronounced, or that's the correct word. Maybe I'm getting that really wrong. Maybe I'm remembering something else that she told me. There's so many different Arabic words that I'm trying to remember that she's teaching me about all this sorts of stuff. But I will do some research and put the actual answer in the description box below. So please check that, because I may be getting that wrong. So anyway, I was invited to witness this, and normally whenever I go to the masjid, I'm invited to, my friend will invite me to pray if I feel like it, but this time she herself wasn't going to be praying, because she is on her period. And in the Muslim culture, or there's like a set of rules in Islam that talks about when you should and shouldn't pray, and when you can and can't do fasting for Ramadan. And menstruating is one of those times where you don't have to fast and you don't have to pray, because ritual and physical cleanliness is a big part of Islam. So she herself wasn't praying tonight, so we just sat and watched, and in my case listened to them recite the Qur'an in Arabic, which was really super pretty. And it sounds really pretty. If you've ever heard Arabic being spoken, I think it's a gorgeous language. But then they also do this thing where they will I don't want to say sing it, because they're not like actually singing, I don't think, but they're doing like different notes and tones with their voice when they recite the Quran, and it's really pretty. It's kind of like how in Catholic Mass, the priests will sing like certain parts of their words are just not coming to me tonight. I'm tired. But they'll like if they're going to like in certain parts of the sermon. That's not the correct word. Certain parts of Mass, they will sing certain like lines. So it kind of reminded me of that a little bit, with them sort of this sing-songy version of reciting the Qur'an, which is really super pretty. I've said that 3 times already. It was gorgeous. So we just sat and listened and watched the other women, because in Islam, they separate the men and the women, at least at this masjid they do. So I couldn't see the men praying, but I could see like the women praying because of the prayer room that we were in. So we just sat and watched the others pray. So it was really long. It was, 'cause they're doing like 20 chapters. They're not verses, I think they're chapters. But they did 20 of these, and so it was like 2 hours long. And I stayed the whole time because I actually wanted to meet my friend's mother, because I haven't gotten to meet like any of her family yet. So I got to meet her mother tonight too, and her mom was really super excited to finally meet me because I guess my friend has talked about me quite often. And I get to meet some of like the elder women too when I'm there, and I don't necessarily mean elder as in like senior citizen, but they're just like 50s and up. But they've been Muslim all their life, and so they have some very different and interesting sort of approaches to Islam. And I got to meet one of the ladies tonight. I don't remember her name, but she was really shocked when my friend actually told them that I am white. They were like, "What? There's no way. Like, you're obviously Palestinian. You're just pulling our leg." And I was like, "No, I'm white." And they're like, "No." And I was like, "Yeah." Which has been an interesting trend the last couple of times that I've been to the masjid, and I've met somebody and they ask, "Oh, what are you asking about, like my race, my ethnicity?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm white." And they're like, "No, you're totally not. You're like Palestinian." And I'm like, "No." And I kid you not, every single time they ask if I am Palestinian. I've never had them like ask if I'm anything other than Palestinian. They're always like, "No, you're totally Palestinian." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." But thanks for the compliment. And they always tell me, that my hijab is always done super pretty, and I take a lot of pride in that, because I am representing these people. So I do, take a lot of pride in how my hijab looks, because I don't want to go out in this like raggedy little hijab that looks bad, and I don't want to do, I don't want to behave badly, I guess, out in the public eye either, because I am representing these people. So it has been a very interesting experience going into the masjid and learning about Islam and getting to experience, a night of Ramadan, and getting to talk to these ladies who are always super surprised when I tell them, I'm not Muslim and I'm white and not Middle Eastern. And it's always been a very welcoming and very comfortable experience. I've never once felt unwelcome at the masjid, even after they learn that I'm not Muslim and I don't have an interest in converting. They're always like so chill with that. They're just like, "Oh yeah, it's cool. welcome to the family anyway. And I'm like, okay, cool. So it's really wonderful going, and I had a lot of fun tonight, and I'm really looking forward to, I'm going to go to the masjid a couple other times during Ramadan, and so I'm just super excited, and this has been a really good learning experience for me, learning about their religion and stuff like that. So anyway, yeah. If you are Muslim and I got any of the terms wrong that I tried so hard to remember at the beginning, please feel free to tell me how badly I did. And if you guys have questions or comments otherwise, feel free to leave me a comment. I will see you guys in the next video.